Hello, this is Photography Gamer, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing Gears of War for the Xbox Series S. The game was originally released for the Xbox 360 way back in 2006. Gears of War is a third-person shooter developed by Epic Games. The story takes place on Serra, a fictional Earth-like planet where humans are at war with the Locusts, a mysterious enemy who arose from the depths on Emergence Day. You play as Marcus Phoenix, a disgraced soldier who is let out of prison to join a squad of Gears troops who are tasked with an important mission that could turn the tide in the war. The game can be played solo, but also has a co-op and competitive multiplayer element. So what is the game like to play? Well, Gears is a lot more tactical than it looks, with cover, flanking and tactics playing a massive part in skirmishes. When played on the harder difficulties, you can't stand out in the open. Seek cover, lean out, get off a few rounds, and look for possible flanking opportunities. Marcus and the other Gears are powerful and well armed, but also very slow, so there's no jumping around to avoid bullets. It's very much a boots on the ground experience. Combat often feels like trench warfare as you make small progress through the gritty environments and slowly pick off the Locust horde. Thankfully, you can barrel run as your character crouches and runs at full tilt to the next cover point. It does take a bit of getting used to, as most shooters give you more mobile characters, but after a while you'll grow to love the slow and tactical nature of the combat. Gears troops can carry 3 weapons, 2 main and 1 side with grenades as another option. You start with the standard issue items, but as you progress you can loot the dead enemies and use whatever weapons you please. And these choices will determine how you approach each level, with each weapon having its own strengths and weaknesses. Ammo can be looted, and the gun reload system is also like a mini game where you have to stop a slider at the right time for a speedy reload. There are several weapons available, such as the standard Gears rifle with chainsaw bayonet attachment for those moments when things get up close and personal. The Torque bow features explosive tipped arrows, and the Hammer of Dawn is a special weapon reserved for the tougher situations and deploys a laser from space to destroy almost anything. But what would a shooter be without good enemies, and Gears of War does not disappoint in that department. The Locusts are ferocious, not just in appearance or tactics, but also in their snarling voices. Each Locust carries a different threat, from the easy to kill wretches who are usually there to disrupt your perfect composure as the other Locusts move in on your position. Emergence holes will appear with a constant stream of enemy combatants, and you have to explode them with grenades, otherwise they will keep coming. There are heavy duty boomers who wield devastating rocket launchers, and you'll also encounter elite guards and the unforgettable and terrifying Berserker. The game well deserves a special mention and has a dark, desaturated and post-apocalyptic feel. Everything looks bleak, battered and as if it's been through hell and back. The levels are linear for the most part, with fixed objectives and narrow passages leading you through to the next stage. But they're always adding some new element to the design, whether that be different enemies or weapons, traps, nighttime levels where entering the darkness will cause instant death, and many other cool variations. The only level that disappointed was the vehicle-based one, which was more of an annoyance and didn't add any value to the experience. One thing Gears does well is the great mix of characters in your squad. Also, the way the squad falls into place over time throughout the missions gives its formation a sense of meaning. They really bounce off each other very well. Marcus Phoenix is a great leader with a grisly war veteran vibe.
Control, this is Delta. We're clear.
Dominic Santiago acts as a strong second-in-command and right-hand man to Marcus. Augustus Cole, aka Coltrane, provides a bombastic and over-the-top presence, and the quartet is completed with Baird, a smart-ass, wisecracking so-and-so who's always got something to add to the mix. As a group, it's hard to find fault with the composition and character variety, and these 4 characters are one of the major reasons Gears of War became such a massive hit. In terms of story, the overall narrative is pretty simplistic. You have a mission to complete, and the game acts as an extended road trip to get that mission complete. It is relatively short, but it is more about scene setting and acts as a fantastic introduction to the Gears, Locust and game world. but the action is so frenetic it doesn't really give you time to get to know the characters too well. But in terms of action, it's absolutely insane. Finally, on gameplay, there is a multiplayer aspect. The campaign can be taken on with 2 players, and I strongly recommend playing it through split screen. There are versus mode options, but be aware, few are still playing, and I found no matches to join in several attempts. But you can play if you can find players, execution, capture the flag, and a few other options. Graphically, the game still looks good all these years after its initial release. At the time, it was groundbreaking stuff, and the detail on the Gears armor, guns, and Locust enemies still stands up today. The musical soundtrack is incredible, with very high production values and an epic Hollywood orchestral style. It really gets you in the mood for the action. And the voice acting is very well suited to the characters, and also weapon sound effects, Locust effects, they're all fantastic. Okay, what's good and what's bad? What's good? The slow and tactical nature of the combat gives skirmishes a tense and grounded quality. The Locusts are a ferocious foe. Weapon variety is excellent, the campaign is intense, well crafted and varied. The musical score is sensational, couch co-op is great and adds replay value to the campaign, and the ensemble cast form a strong group of varied characters that you want to get to know more. What's bad? The campaign is relatively short, sometimes the controls felt a little unresponsive and movement or actions could have been slicker, and the competitive multiplayer doesn't really work as well as, say, a first-person shooter game. So, what's the verdict? Gears of War is a fantastic action game that's like one long adrenaline rush from start to finish. The combat is intense, the weapons are powerful, and the enemies use aggressive tactics. The mix of cover, flanking, and pure violence make for an intoxicating mix. And when you're barrel running up the flank, chainsaw executing Locusts, all accompanied by grisly sound effects and Hollywood blockbuster music, it all makes for such a satisfying experience. The game introduces new weapons and enemies throughout, and this helps to keep things feeling fresh. The lead character is strong, as are his surrounding squad, and the whole experience is one that I enjoyed back in the day, but also today, all these years later. Gears of War may not be the best game in the series, but it's the most important. It sets the scene and introduces one of the best quartets of main characters in gaming history. Yes, it may be a bit light on story or considerable character development, but it introduces a fantastic game world, a ferocious enemy, and a fun and immensely enjoyable gameplay loop. So, my score for Gears of War is 9.25 out of 10. Okay, that was the review. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. You can now join the channel to unlock exclusive members only videos, early access, and many other benefits. To join, click on the button on my homepage. But for now, this is Photography Gamer signing off. Thank you.